WCLN 1170 Radio and Star Communications Channel 16 proudly present the We Should Know Show, an upbeat, informative look at people, places, and issues facing our community. This education-based analysis of issues will remain positive and informative. Now, here's your host, J.W. Simmons, as we consider closely what we should know.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We Should Know is on there. My name is J.W. Simmons. I'm your host. We're talking about education, a special area of education, not only for this county, but for the state of North Carolina. It's the North Carolina Community College system. And quite frankly, I know no one that's more involved and has dedicated their life to that than the president of Sampson Community College, Dr. Bill Starling. Bill, thank you for being with us today.
No, JW, thank you. It's always a wonderful time to be able to sit here and reminisce.
Absolutely.
And
we've Bill, I think we've seen a lot, and different lens. You see different things. I want to kind of start the conversation today with your decades of experience in the community college system and your decades of experience in this community, because you've actually grown with the community college. You're now president of the community college for 4+ decades. What has been, if you just look back and think both past, present, give us some of the key challenges you've seen Sampson Community College morph through and deal with, and this could go for community colleges as a whole. But there's been some challenges. There's been all kinds of growth possibilities. There's been opportunities. In all of that, probably for all these decades, somewhere you've been in that mix of leadership that has moved this college to where it is today and what we're going to talk about today. But I want to just kind of get you to reflect just for a moment. What's been some of those things that you thought, man?
well, if I'm just thinking about the community college system was started in 1963, really because the state saw a need for the development of workforce training and kind of a comprehensive system of education. There were a lot of young people that were coming back from wars and that were displaced and whatever. We fortunately were one of the counties that had the foresight to actually begin a community college. There are only 58. Mm-hmm. It's unusual that Sampson would have one. So we remember J.T. Denning and James Earl Vann and mm-hmm. the early trustees or whatever as a remarkable group of people with foresight. So the college began when the East Indian School moved to the campus a few years later. It enjoyed enrollment from veterans that were coming back from Vietnam. And for many years, as we talked, it was a very traditional school in which one year was very much similar to the year before. Things began changing significantly over the last 15 or 20 years, in which public school students began to be reintroduced under dual enrollment programs by various and sundry names. We now know it as Career and College Promise. Mm-hmm. And so what we've seen now, with the development or matriculation to the modern community college, you see us today, we've got 650 high school students enrolled, 250 in the early college. I think our head count's up to almost 1,800 this semester. And you see the evolution of the community college to become kind of, if you will, a center of not only just educational choice for adults in the community who are looking to, for skill acquisition, but also as an important partner to our public schools and our high school students who are seeking skills and a front door and maybe an advanced step into the university system. So it has changed. It is continuing to evolve. We continue to look at the possibilities. We have 2 superintendents now who are open to new ways of doing things and new types of opportunities and relationships for our young people. It's a resource issue in Sampson County, which we all understand, but I'm excited as I sit here and look at where I think the institution can be, not just on its own, but as a partner with business and industry and our other educational providers. it actually is an exciting time to be in the community college system.
I totally 100% agree with that analysis. And the other thing that strikes me as we look at that, and I think about, Dr. Bill Starling, you have rode this out for all these decades. And we've known each other a long time. You could have literally gone anywhere or been anywhere and pretty much done anything. I'm not blowing this out of proportion. Now, everybody out there is going to agree with this, but you stayed with us. You stuck with this. What has seethed you here to this landscape that you felt this is something I needed to do? This is more of a passion for you than anything else.
Well, I will confess, in the early years, it's a job and you're raising a family. And then after some time, you begin to become a little bit more reflective upon what I've been doing. I have become actually more impassioned about the mission of not only Sampson Community Colleges, but community colleges across the state in the last few years, because I can look retrospectively and see all the lives that have been changed in our community. Young people who've not stayed and gone on to do, wonderful things and had opportunities in other areas, and we applaud them for that. But I'm more and more convinced that, the quality of life that we enjoy here, the importance of these opportunities for our community, they're things that I'm passionate about now, more so than I was when I was caught up in just doing the work, going home, being a dad, and being a member of the community. But this is a unique period in life, as I say, where you do have some perspective. Always been a Sampsonian, go back multiple generations. Our folks generally haven't gone too far. The mayor of Clinton obviously is a relation, the first cousin. We are grounded in this community and want to this community to be the best that it can be.
I've asked that question to you because I'm asked a lot by people that look at you and of course Mayor Lou Starling and others and go, these are such talented people. Why do they end up in this, somewhat 60,000+ population county in a rural area, and they could have literally done anything? And I always look at that and I go, well, there's something that bonds you here, and I feel that same sense.
Well, Sampson County has its own unique personality. I think growing up in a smaller community, and the lifestyle that we enjoy, it's one that we should celebrate. Now, there are limits to, you can't necessarily run to a local store and get something which is available maybe in Raleigh.
There's not a fresh market around the corner. There's not a fresh market
around the corner. So there are some trade-offs, but the opportunity to be in the community, to know the people of the community, to develop those relationships. I wouldn't trade our quality of life for, I'm sorry, Raleigh, I'm going to use you as an example. I would much rather be here among friends and family and the community that we enjoy than to be in the Raleigh market.
Well, I think we share that. Certainly most folks listening or watching the show will reflect and go, none of us look forward to Raleigh, particularly as it relates to traffic congestion and sometimes, quote, the disharmony. But at the same time, the community colleges and Sampson Community College is one of those 58, has been kind of a pathway, as you just said, for a number of people. What's happened on the campus at Sampson Community College has not only been dynamic as far as growth, but it's been dynamic as far as just the visuality of that campus. From Highway 24 looking in, the campus has morphed into this place that you feel like you just want to go, if it's nothing but to take a walk around the trail on campus, under the willow oak, and enjoy a beautiful day in the 70s. That's been part of your leadership and under your leadership.
Well, it's been part of kind of a shared vision with not only the trustees, but members of our foundation board. The walking path and all those trees and kind of the development of the holistic campus is really supported by the foundation. And we think it's, as you have indicated, it's given us a lot of visual appeal. It's also created a kind of a destination place for so many people in our community who come out and walk. I mean, we have kids soccer in the spring, which is so, we are a community college, and there should be more to us than just the classes that we offer. So, no one has to come to Sampson Community College. And so we are aware that the way we look and the way we appeal to students and to families is an important part of us enrolling students and continuing to grow and being healthy. So really, in the overall scheme of things, it's not that expensive to invest in these services and these opportunities that you see around the campus. And it's interesting to see. I was there when many of those trees were planted with a shovel, and now you see them in full maturity. I probably won't see a lot of these other trees in maturity, but it's an important part of our contributions to the future, not only of the campus, but of the community.
Well, I think it bodes well for the community as a whole. I think community colleges in the state as a whole has that kind of core value that represents those communities in the state. And something else that you pointed out, the number of community colleges, and as we look at the system as a whole, still from all data I can see, results are that North Carolina Community College system is number one in the country, and oftentimes emulated by others. We got about 30 seconds before break. Go ahead.
No, we hear that cited so often. I don't know how we compare to Texas or California or whatever, but North Carolina is one of the more celebrated systems. So we're excited that we're making our own contributions here in Clinton.
Bill, again, thank you for being with us. We're going to take a break, and we've got through the introduction part. When we come back, I want to dig into some things happening at Sampson Community College and things that people can look at quickly and say, I could make a difference if I had that. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back in a moment. Stay tuned. We're talking with Dr. Bill Starling, president of Sampson Community College. Call a friend. Stay tuned.
Computer viruses, malware, and ransomware are out there. They're dangerous, and they can steal your identity and damage your equipment. Star Communications is now offering Protect IQ. The service adds an extra layer of protection to every device connected to your network. Working quietly in the background, Star can help you protect yourself from the inside out with Protect IQ. Call Star today and take advantage of this free service when you sign up for whole home Wi-Fi with Star Communications.
How can your friend save you money? It's easy. Refer a relative, coworker, neighbor, or friend to Star Communications. Friend signs up for high-speed internet service. Friend's new account is confirmed. Friend gives your name to our service representative as the one who referred them to Star. You receive a $30 internet credit. It's just that simple. And even better, receive a $30 internet credit for every referral that results in a new confirmed account. High-speed internet from Star Communications. Refer a friend today.
Welcome to Cork and Brew Roseboro, where you can enjoy your favorite coffee, fraps, smoothies, bakery items, sandwiches, and select beer and wines while reconnecting with friends and family. Sit down and enjoy the experience. Come on by and give us a try.
When we're connected, American communities thrive. And as the internet connects more Americans to education, healthcare, and jobs every year, access to robust and reliable broadband is more important than ever for rural communities. For over 30 years, the Universal Service Fund has enabled affordable, high-quality connectivity for Americans across the nation, no matter how small or remote the community. This federal fund allows families the independence to live, work, and thrive in their communities, improves healthcare outcomes with greater access to information and telehealth options, gives children the education they need for a bright future, allows the start and growth of local businesses, which creates jobs that provide financial stability and strengthens economies on both a local and national scale. With a Universal Service Fund, we are expanding and sustaining connectivity for all through broadband built to last. Because when we're connected, America thrives.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We Should Know's on there. J.W. Simmons here, your host. We're talking about education today, particularly adult education, particularly jobs, particularly careers, things that make a difference. We're talking to a friend of mine and yours, President Bill Starling, Dr. Bill Starling at Sampson Community College. You've been a part of, your family's been inundated in this community for decades. You understand what this community is. You have as much depth of understanding of the needs of the community, and you are addressing that as the leader of an adult education facility, one of 58 in the state of North Carolina. Let's open the door on that. I see a lot of buildings going up. I see a lot of changes, should I say. I see a lot of concrete being laid. Tell us what's happening on that campus, because, you can't drive all the way around now because it's blocked off and there's fences up. This is a dynamic morphing again of Sampson Community College.
Well, JW, we're excited. We've got 2 construction projects that are ongoing right now. One is coming to a conclusion in the next couple of months, and that is a connector building between North Building and Kitchen Building. If you may remember, the Kitchen Building actually didn't have an elevator.
Correct.
And that was an issue both in terms of federal compliance, but just in terms of, service to our employees and our students. So the best way to do that was to combine, a new elevator that was ADA compliant and allow that to serve 2 buildings. So that connector building will have a common elevator, but it also gave us an opportunity to define a significant entry point to the campus. We use some special legislative funding, which we're just all so thankful for. But if you drive up to the campus and see, it now gives you, it's almost an atrium type of feeling with a lot of glass. It gives you a very focal point. We're using that space actually as an extension of the library, the Learning Resource Center. Mm-hmm. It has collaborative areas in it for students and faculty, and has conference rooms in it. There are no offices or anything. It's simply a student space, but it takes 2 much older buildings. It connects them with something which is very modern, higher ceilings, a lot of glass or whatever, redefines that space and gives you a central point when you come on the campus. You will now know where I go, which has always been ambiguous.
It has
before
been,
now.
yes.
The other building, which is being built as an addition to the activity center, we call it a multi-purpose room. It's actually large enough. It will accommodate a full basketball court with sufficient height and everything, but it's not a gym. It is going to be used for everything, for semi-auditorium type use, flat seating. We will do student activities in it. We do registration. If BLET needs to use it for their activities or whatever. So we envision this space to be constantly turning over. And I think it's one actually that the public will probably want to utilize.
Now that's the space that's closest to what used to be referred, where it's still Airport Road. I think it's closest to Airport Road.
It's a 12,000 square foot volume. We expect to complete that in August. Hopefully it'll be available in the fall semester, but that gives us a capability. We've never been able to host a regional meeting. We've never been able to host so it gives you a space that, you can convert it to that and support those functions. And then maybe later, that afternoon or evening or whatever, you can turn it into back into space for student activities or whatever.
So basically what I hear you saying, you could set up seating there that will be available. How many people are you maybe anticipating as far as being able to occupy?
I think with tables and chairs or whatever, you could probably do around 300 in there. We'll use, it's going to be striped for pickleball. That's a question that a number of people will ask, but we don't do intercollegiate sports. We do, student club sports and those types of things, and as well as our curriculum classes, we offer PE classes and curriculum. We have a new faculty member in that area. So, this is a dimension that we've known that we've needed.
Absolutely.
And needed for a long time. We have some federal money involved in this, and again, some special state allocations. So there's no local money in either one of these. We're excited about that. And then we are currently under design for a new nursing allied health building, which will go, if you will, toward the western part of the campus. Mm-hmm. And if the bid climate stays good, we should be okay with that. That's about an 18 to $19 million addition. And it's about 34 or 5,000 square feet. But that actually will consume that open area between all those parking lots and when you ride by the campus. This is an interesting observation. Mm-hmm. Unless you were to start building in the middle of the walkway area, you're very close to needing additional campus space.
Wow.
Or land in the back, which is a conversation we probably don't need to have here, but one of the trustees and we made some of the commissioners aware of.
Well, I'm kind of blown away. I could never imagine that we would be taking up that kind of space back during my day. Certainly I wouldn't, but now I'm really excited that we have that dynamic happening. And as you so vividly pointed out, this is a community college. This is something the community should be not only excited about, but I'm going to use the word ecstatic, because it's something that, let's face it, I mean, all this is happening and it's really happening. Some of this was talked about for years, if not maybe a decade.
And then I need to point out, you have 40 some acres in the industrial park, and we're also doing a lot of development there.
And then now this is just for folks to understand, this is off campus.
This is off campus.
Another site, but facilities are there.
Right. And that's where we do truck driving. We're now doing heavy equipment there, that we do all our law enforcement training there. We have a development plan there for emergency services, and for fire training or whatever. Don't have the funding yet for that, but this county and all our volunteers who work in those areas and our first responders badly need to be able to access training here within the county. Mm-hmm. We've had conversations with our commissioners and some of our other funding partners. I hope that can develop sometime in the not too distant future. But again, this was a project that began with the Clinton 100 committee making us a no fund offer of 11 acres. We ended up being able to buy the remaining parcel with funds that we have. So it's a community development partnership, and it continues to just show promise for our community, not only for Clinton and Roseboro and New Grove, but really all our rural areas. So
before we start digging into some of these programs and some of the opportunities, should I say, maybe I shouldn't say programs, some of the opportunities, how vital a resource do you see Sampson Community College as it relates to the area of economic development in this county?
As I said in the beginning, there are 58 schools, and we should be advantaged because we have a community college within the county. I don't know how a community could attract an industry that needed a trained workforce that didn't have either a community college in the area or one that was served by one. Now it's interesting, you have Central Carolina is getting ready to build a training facility not too far over the line into Harnett County or whatever. So Harnett is recognizing their need for those types of spaces in their area. You have Fayetteville. We're surrounded by counties that have those resources. Sooner or later, Sampson is going to turn the corner because it's inevitable, and there's going to be industrial development in our county. We need to be poised for that. I think we are, certainly more than we were 10 years ago. Have an outstanding faculty in all those areas. So I'm kind of probably not doing a very good job of speaking pointedly to the topic, but I don't know how you would do this without a community college in the service area to be able to speak to some of the pointed training needs that industry would have.
If I'm let me approach it this way. If I'm an industry guy and I'm outside and I'm looking at a huge map and I'm looking at road connectivity and I see I-40 interstate crossing the county, I see NC 24 4-lane crossing the county, and I'm looking at putting 200-300 personnel industry or maybe 1,000, and I look at Sampson Community College. Would I not think, wow, this has got some possibility?
I would hope you would. And one of the things with candor, county lines are not as important as they used to be. That's one of the things we notice not only in student attendance, but faculty that we recruit. People are willing to drive a reasonable distance, and we got a better road system now. 24 opened up a lot of opportunities for, we have a significant number of students now that are coming from Cumberland County. Mm-hmm. We had actually feared that it would go the other way, but it's actually been a net increase for us with students coming from Cumberland to Sampson rather than our students going there. So at some point, Western Sampson, Northern Sampson or whatever, because they're close to a lot of economic activity. You can't imagine that Johnston would be the only one that would grow when we're right up there close to it. Sooner or later, Ray, if you're listening, we hold the hope that
he is, I'm sure,
that's going to happen in the not too distant future. So,
well, I think that's one of the expectations as you look at it, and the training part is critical. And you so vividly pointed out, the northern part of this county is an easy drive distance of Johnston, which now is being inundated by I'm not going to say overflow, but the dynamic that's occurring in Wake. I want to continue this conversation when we come back from break, and then I'd like to kind of get into some of the particulars and some of the programs that is, how should I put this, that is work oriented and ready for people to make a dynamic impact in this community through specialty programs. So we'll continue this when we come back from break. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We're talking to the president of Sampson Community College, Dr. Bill Starling, about the future of this county and the connection with the community college system. Stay tuned.
At Fisher's, it's not just about fashion. It's about exceptional service. Experience top-notch customer care and find your perfect look. Visit Fisher's today and feel the difference.
Experiencing slow internet? If you have a fast internet package, the problem is most likely your wireless router. With more devices using Wi-Fi, your wireless router may not be able to deliver the speed and coverage you need. We now have the leading solution to enhance your internet experience. Using small devices in a mesh network, these Wi-Fi appliances cover just about any size home so that all your devices can operate to their fullest potential. Whole home Wi-Fi from Star Communications. Get the most out of your internet connection.
If you run a business, you need sales. To get sales, you need customers. To get customers, you need exposure. Let our team of experts craft and produce the perfect video ad to reach your intended audience while making the most of your advertising dollars. Call 1-800-706-6538 or visit starcom.net to contact our Star Communications production team and get your business moving to the next level.
The average American household has 17 devices connected to the internet. With more and more devices able to get online, you may need to increase your internet speed. Call Star Communications today and let us help you select the package that's right for you.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being with us today. We're talking about education. I'm J.W. Simmons, your host. The name of the show is We Should Know. Our guest today is Dr. Bill Starling, president of Sampson Community College. Bill, we've talked about a lot of stuff in the first half of the show. Seems like we're going fast here. We literally spend probably more time, you and I do, on breaks chatting than we do dealing with a lot of these issues. You've mentioned a number of construction projects, a number of things that's changing the face and dynamic of Sampson Community College the way it looks. Let's dig a little bit deeper into some of those things and talk about some of the changes in the actual courses, the faculty that is there now in 2025, and the expectation of students as they come to this campus. When we were back in the years, you would go to Sampson Community College. It was a easy pathway seemingly to go there and then pick up a 4-year degree and then end up at the university system and get that beloved academic credential. Today, the big jobs, the jobs that is so direly needed is those certification programs that people that can do things with their hands.
We've had, as we've discussed off air, we've had significant growth, obviously, in our high school participation, and it's a really, really important part of what we do, and it provides opportunities for our young people from some of our smaller schools. But a lot of our growth has now been in welding, heating and air conditioning, electrical, construction programs, as well as you have. On any given day, either the largest or the second largest, sometimes maybe the third if we're having a bad semester, largest truck driving training program in the state of North Carolina, right across town. So all those years in which people celebrated and tried to get young people interested in the trades programs or whatever, that seems to finally have taken hold. Welding runs from early morning to late at night. It's full. If you don't register early, you actually don't even get a seat in welding. I joke sometimes, like, we can probably get you in nursing, but we can't get you into welding, which is not true to all my nursing folks. That is not true. But it shows you how much the workforce and the interest of a lot of our young people have changed. I think we could grow more. There are people who say, well, why didn't you build the welding building bigger than it is? And I've said, we had that amount of money. We spent every bit of it. Mm-hmm. And now Lisa Turlington is spending a lot of time trying to find additional money so that we can expand in the metal fabrication and increase some of the welding training opportunities in our area. So we do all we can with the facilities that we have available to us. We are, and not in any way, all the folks that I've worked with have been special to me. Right now, you have just one of the most outstanding groups of faculty. They're actually fairly young for my age. Everybody's fairly young, but
I feel you.
But so if you're interested in any trades programs, I really encourage you to come to Sampson and take advantage of the opportunities that we have. Again, we're starting an associate degree in engineering technology this fall. We're excited about that. That's not going to require any additional space. It just allows the students to take a series of courses from a number of particular areas and disciplines. We think that's important for students who want to go, say, transfer to East Carolina and industrial systems or whatever, or a bachelor's in technology. So there are a lot of opportunities there for our young people who don't want to go through either the medical field or the traditional associate arts. And those programs are continuing to grow. I think I've told you this past year, we graduated 58 RNs at Sampson Community College.
Wow.
Again, we now are a regional institution. And this year our applications in that area even exceed those from last year. So we're excited about the opportunity, not to grow just for growth's sake, but we think we're providing and can provide more and more opportunities to our families and our young people here.
One of the things you pointed out previously also is some of those programs the academic piece, the technical skill piece, learning the skill, learning the trade is done right there on campus, or as within the truck driving school, and those kinds of courses are located out in the industrial park area. All of them easily accessible. Typically, the last time I checked, we don't have a traffic congestion issue here. You can maneuver around, you can get in and out easily, and people are coming from outside. The big thing here is some of those programs do require, once you finish the end course, there's so many hours that is required by the state that you maybe work in an apprentice position.
There are, as we discussed, we can prepare you to go into heating and air conditioning. You have to serve under someone for an appointed time. Electrical, I think, is almost 2,000 hours. I don't know what it is in heating and air conditioning. It's about that in plumbing. So there is about a year of full-time work that someone would have to complete before becoming licensed. But we think we start you out where you need to be, prepare you for licensure exams, give you the skills. And in many instances, they're good careers working in larger firms. We have a large number of heating and air conditioning people that go into some of the larger firms, and their purpose or their professional goal is not to start their own business right now. So they're just working in the industry. So excited about that. And I don't want to, for so many of our courses, like in college transfer or whatever, that are simply lecture-based. Yes, a lot of that enrollment is online. But when you ride by the campus, during the core hours, you will note that most of the parking lots are completely full. And the reason for that is so much of what we do cannot be taught online. It's skills acquisition and requires you to come to campus. So we're kind of the best of both worlds.
When we look at those kinds of jobs, and this is maybe one of those observations that's unanswerable, but you look at it, and I talk to people, and I know you do too, that leaves that campus and they will take the skills they've learned there. They will move forward, and all of a sudden I see them a while later and they're saying, well, I landed a job, as you pointed out, with another location, maybe in Wilmington or different places. And they all of a sudden say, I just got this job and I'm making $30 an hour. And it just, it's like astounding. And this is entry level, Bill. And I'm thinking, my God.
No, it's always a constant dynamic when faculty come in and say, you do know our graduates are starting out at more than our faculty are making.
Yeah.
So,
but that's
I don't want to do a whole lot with that, but that is a reality that is we have to deal with.
It speaks, I think, to the demand in that particular functional area in the community and in the communities around. The other thing I wanted to expand on too is that for people that either listen to this show and they may be listening on radio, they may be watching it online after we're through here, and they may be in another location. It's easy access. You pointed out before, Highway 2440, in and out's easy. That's not an issue. But the key issue for me is that, and I know a number of those folks, you have an outstanding faculty, and I'm going to use this phrase, they care. Those two words, when I talk to any of them, they care about their students.
We laugh about it. But it is true. It's affirmed anecdotally when we meet with students. It even is in our survey results, and that is students say our faculty are nicer here than they are at, and I'm not going to call the institution or institutions around. So we joke that's our competitive advantage, is that we will treat you better than other schools. Now, I have probably presidential colleagues around in the area who would challenge me on that, but at least we believe that of ourselves, and we try to underscore that as part of our culture at the school.
Yeah, I think it just experience-wise, I've had opportunities just, personally where, I've called a certain faculty person having some background there, knowing these people, and I say, I've got a person that is looking something. Do you have time if they call you? And he says, well, are you talking to them now? And I go, yeah. Mm-hmm. And that faculty member say, well, let me talk to him or her. And I just hand them the phone. And it's like you see their eyes kind of light up and go, what? Because what they're saying, what the faculty member is saying is yes. They're not saying no. Because that person is saying, well, what time of day do I have to be there? And then the response is, can you go day or night? There's not but two choices here. So you've got that built in.
It is. And there are remarkable success stories about students who have started, even those without certain academic skills. If they are willing to persevere, follow the guidance of our support staff and our faculty or whatever, the possibilities of life-changing experiences at school are certainly there for those who are willing to pursue it.
So we have kind of looked at the weighing of the possibilities, and my thought is that as folks are again listening to this show, watching this show, it's in two mediums, radio and also TV. If they're watching this, they may not be that person. They may be the grandparent or the parent. I'm hoping they're hearing what we're saying, and what you're saying, more importantly, is because the opportunity is basically a matter of you opening your door and saying, I think I'm going to take a shot at Sampson Community College because they care about me. When we come back, I want to dig into some of this, the last segment of the show. I want to dig in a little bit more and give you the opportunity to just kind of go where we need to go and touch on things at Sampson Community College. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We're talking with the president of Sampson Community College, Dr. Bill Starling, about the future of you or somebody you know. We'll be back in a moment.
When we're connected, American communities thrive. As the internet connects more Americans every year, access to robust and reliable broadband is more important than ever for rural communities. The Universal Service Fund enables affordable, high-quality broadband, improves healthcare outcomes with access to telehealth options, gives children the education for a bright future, and allows business growth and job creation. The Universal Service Fund is expanding and sustaining connectivity for all, because when we're connected, America thrives.
Providing fewer commutes, more backyard offices, and crystal clear meetings. Providing less, you froze up, and more presence in your presentations. Providing a better internet experience. Providing possible.
At the Reedy Mark, we take pride in a unique, distinguished customer experience. We specialize in handcrafted cocktails, allocated bourbons, as well as gourmet signature food items exclusive to our menu at the Reedy Mark in Roseboro.
Hey guys, Sydney and Jesse here from At the Table. Are you enjoying the show? We want to hear from you. We have a quick survey where you can tell us things you've learned, recipes you've tried, and how the show has impacted you. You'll be entered into a grand prize drawing. Check out our link or scan the QR code for more info. Thank you for tuning in and cooking with us at the table.
Ready to start fresh? Continue your journey? Or explore something entirely new? At Sampson Community College, we're here to help you begin here and go anywhere. With flexible schedules, affordable tuition, and programs designed for your success, there's no better place to reach your goals. Registration for Fall 2025 is open March 31st through April 17th. Expand your horizons today. Sampson Community College. Your future starts here.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We're coming up on the last part of the show today. As you know, we have been talking with Dr. Bill Starling, Sampson Community College president, and talking about things education-wise that meets the needs and demands not only of now, but the future. I want to remind you, please continue to send us your emails to weshouldknowedu@gmail.com. I enjoy hearing from everybody in the community, your suggestions. Even those folks that send me email and say, why didn't you ask him this or why didn't you ask her that? And sometimes I don't ask all the questions simply because of time. Also, you can drop us a note or a card to Post Office Box 1482, Clinton, North Carolina. Just put on there, We Should Know, or WSK. It'll go to the Post Office Box. Your comments, recommendations, suggestions is much appreciated, and we look forward to continue to do that. I want to kind of segue back to Dr. Starling. Bill, again, thank you for taking your time to be here with as much as going on with the things that's happening on campus. I dare say that folks already know this, but your job doesn't stop or start on a time clock. Your job is a job that you have chosen that has become and has been and continues to be a huge part of your life.
It has been my life, and it's fun. It's JW. The people you work with become very much a part of your extended family, and you have good moments with family, and sometimes you have, oh my goodness, how do we get out of this? But I would choose to do it all over again if I had an opportunity. So it's been wonderful.
One of the things that reminds me in that statement you just made, I was talking the other day with a guy, and he looked at me, he said, you got to learn that helping people help others is the greatest attribute a man can have.
Well, in my case, I don't want to individualize this, and I have done anything. I've been part of an extended, group of people across, 40 plus years who've all worked cooperatively and we all stand kind of on the shoulders of those who came before us. But we're excited about the things that we've been able to do, that I've been able to be part of. I hope there's still a little bit more left. But again, there is a sense of gratitude, of service, and I want to acknowledge that here.
I think one of the things that, as in the last part of the show, I want to kind of circle back is a word, and we see it constantly with the 58, and that's the word community. It is so important for folks to understand, at least from my perspective, and I want your perspective, to understand that the word community in community college is probably the most solidifying piece of that whole dynamic, because it is part of the community. And in many cases, it helps guide and in a lot of cases helps nurture the community to success.
Well, it is. We are, we have sister institutions that we compare ourselves to. James Sprunt, obviously, is one of them in Kenansville. But interestingly enough, we are completely different institutions because we serve two communities that, although we have a lot of common roots and whatever, we're different. Sampson is a unique institution, as is Blade and as is Southeastern or whatever. And that's the strength of the community college system. And that is, we're able to leverage the resources of the state, and we're able to leverage, the uniform articulation agreement with the university system, but yet each institution is able to tailor its programs and services to the community it serves, and to try to respond as quickly as we can to the community's needs.
I want to touch on just a quick observation on your part with the nursing program. I know that's been a part of the community college for years, particularly Sampson Community College. And you mentioned a number of RNs that was recently graduated. That is also a program that can lead a pathway to master's degrees in nursing and various other skill levels and academic credentials that could just guide somebody's career if they find that as a path for them. That gets back to that slogan at the community college, begin here. Is it begin here and go anywhere? Is that it? I think
I encourage you to have Dr. Crowley and Dr. Springs come and do this because they could do it so much more effectively than I can. But yes, nursing is, when you complete and graduate from us and your license, that's really the beginning of your possible careers that are available to you in the medical area. So we think we do it really, really well. We think we're going to do it even better with new facilities, but we have the best of faculty, and our test results are just, they're always, we're not always 100%, but they're either 100% or very close to it. So it's a remarkably good program that serves not only this community, but let's be honest, if you graduate 58, there are a lot of them that are working in hospitals that in surrounding counties. It's my guess if you are with a family member and you're at one of the Wake hospitals or one of the university hospitals and you pay attention or ask, where were you trained with a nurse? Many of them are going to tell you they trained with us.
Absolutely. And that's a huge dynamic. I'm trying to get together a program now on healthcare, particularly as it relates to physicians and other things for rural communities. And better than anybody that that's a challenge as well as industry is having healthcare, and not only the healthcare we need, but the level of healthcare in rural communities in North Carolina.
It is, and our relationship in support of rural health is one that we underscore. We try to train, and our program tries to train people that are effective in working in this environment. One of the things which is simply true, you ask about my being here or whatever, though it is the case that we have people that move in here, professionals that move from other areas and come in, it's less and less likely. More emphatic, it's certainly the case that people who are from here are the ones that are more likely to return here and practice and sustain, the quality of life that we enjoy. So that's what we are happy to do, is we train local people with the hopes that they're going to stay in our communities, in our service area, and provide the services we need.
We've talked about the community. We've talked about multi-million-dollar buildings that's going up. We've talked about the off-campus site with truck driver training that you can see that going on all over the county and the roadways. We've talked about the campus that has morphed into this place that folks just feel kind of compelled to go out and stroll through the campus. What is in the mind of Bill Starling as you enter this next session of your life? What else do you see that we're not seeing now that is just bursting on that landscape out there?
Well, it's interesting. I think we have to be careful that we don't, and I'm going to use the expression, get over our skis too much. We have to grow with the community, and actually with the county's ability to sustain our physical plant and the opportunities. So we have to be measured in our growth or whatever. As we've talked, it's been a number of years since there's really been any significant construction, and we're in that phase right now. And I can document the need for additional space. But we're going to have to be very conversational with our commissioners and our other funding partners that, we're staying centered where we need to be, that we're always responsible with the funding which is available to us. I think our campus can grow, but it doesn't need to be growing just for growth's sake. It needs to grow because it is responding to community needs and expanding the opportunities for our young people and our young families here. So I'm hopeful that the growth continues. We're a different institution than we were, much different than we were when I started.
Absolutely. And I will say this to folks listening and watching today, a number of these facilities that are being built now has been part of that vision that you were part of, even as far as a decade or more ago, to try to make happen. So I would remind folks that a lot of the things that's happening now has been seeded many years ago, now finally coming to fruition.
It is, and I would also say another thing, and this is true of my colleagues in the public school sector. Older buildings can be maintained or whatever, but at a certain point, they really do not accommodate the educational program that we have today. Nursing is a classic example. If you don't have simulation labs and simulation experiences that are available, you're not teaching your students at the same level that they would be taught at area institutions. It's the same way heating and air conditioning in those areas. You've got to have labs and lab space and technologies that are at par with the institutions that are around us. So you can't just stop. It's a process of continuing to invest in the campus and continuing to invest in opportunities. I know that our commissioners are aware of that.
Yeah.
And we thank them for their support and the opportunities that we anticipate we're going to be able to bring to people.
And I think that part of the rural landscape is that evolution part that continues to change. And certainly you and all the employees at Sampson Community College, faculty, staff, and others continues that tradition. I want to thank you for taking time to come sit down and have this conversation. You've always had the open door policy with Dr. Bill Starling as well as you do at Sampson Community College. So thank you for that.
No, if we can be to help to anyone, if there's a family member or whatever that you want to send to us, please let us be a part of their lives.
Well, I certainly appreciate that. And I'm looking forward to doing a regular program, maybe quarterly, talking about education. As Dr. Starling pointed out,
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of We Should Know with host J.W. Simmons. If you have a question, comment, or suggestion regarding this or any episode, please send your emails to weshouldknowedu@gmail.com. And remember to tune in every Tuesday at 2:30 for another informative episode of We Should Know.